Hold on. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy FRE, $H Fresh at the Flyboy Way. That's THEFLYBOYWAY. Don't ask why, just check out the channel, bruh. I know you guys. I know you guys can hear the crackle in my voice. You can hear the craziness in my voice. Trust and believe. You might not understand watching now, but when you watch the videos from Havana, Cuba that I have, you're going to completely understand why my voice is this way and why I am so tired. Now, yes, I know the sound is crazy. Hopefully the background sound isn't too bad. I kind of wanted to get this angle because I really like this angle. I just got another oh my god. Yo, hold on a second. I just got another Wi-Fi card. I'll explain to you guys another SIM card. I'll explain to you guys about why I had to get another SIM card. Also, I'm going to explain what the title is and what happened. Again, if anybody knows this channel, you guys know I'm 100% real all the time. And I tell you, anything can happen to anybody. But the reason why I mention this is because you have to take accountability for what you did that caused the issue. Luckily, this issue was a very minute issue, and it could have been a larger issue. It could have been a very, very larger issue. So let me shout a couple people out in the room, and then after I shout a couple people out in the room, we'll get into the start of the topic on how I got $50 stolen from me, and then turned around the next morning, which was this morning, gave away $100 and a bunch of clothes to people all over Havana, all over old Havana, and now like the feeling is just priceless, man. It's priceless. So let me shout you guys out and we'll get to it, alright? I'm hoping you guys can see the back of the room. This live, you're not gonna see my face that well because I like this view. So let me get to y'all comments, alright? Travel Addict, what's going on, bro? Tev King, what it do? J Mass in the building. Mr. T Reed. Milano the Travel Vlogger, what's going on? Stole $50. Stole $50. Not robbed. Not drugged. Not stole $50. We'll get into that a little bit more as I get to the thing. Black Ham TV, definitely smash the like button because this is going to be one hell of a live. And this is the last night where we're in Havana, Cuba for this time. Believe me, I may come to Havana, Cuba before the end of the year if I rent my property for the right price in Miami. James, what's going on, man? Casino 77, what's up, man? Yeah, Milano, it's crazy, but the story is even crazier. Casino, I'm going to Cuba this December. Drop some gems. Oh yeah, I'm definitely dropping gems. If you've been watching the lives, you're getting the in-action gems. But the Black Man's Guide is not coming out until at least July or August because I'm dropping it for South by Southwest as a premiere for my web series. But I will have possibly the review, and I will definitely have the vlogs from it so you guys can see like I normally do. Again, good riddance. What's going on? Barrett, always appreciate it. Support, homie. Sapphire, bro. Keeping it real for the brothers always. Why wouldn't we? Watching me from Philadelphia. Philly, what's good? T-Real heading to Barcelona, Spain. Cairo, Egypt. Pattaya, Thailand. And possibly back to Cartagena, Colombia next month. Woo, I need to get out of Cuba. Definitely do. Alright, so let's get to the story, y'all. I let some people get time to come in the room and all that stuff. Yo, again, excuse my voice. When you guys see the videos, you'll understand why my voice is the way it is. This has been the best experience I've had in a long time. Yes, I'm starting this with, this Cuba trip has been the best experience I had traveling in a long time. I'm talking about 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 years. This Cuba trip might go in, be in the top 5. And this is, I know it's fresh, so this Cuba trip might be in the top 5 experiences I've had traveling ever. So now let's start with the recap. All right. So as you guys know, I've been going to different clubs and trying to get you guys the most information detailed of the different clubs in Havana and even in Veradero, Cuba, because I don't feel as though a lot of people that come to Cuba really give you the details. They show you stuff, but they don't explain how things work. They don't explain. I felt as though it's needed to be done. So every time I go to the club, it's costing me. I'm gonna tell you like this: they're gonna charge you a cover for most clubs, but it's not always a cover for everybody. A lot of times it's a gringo cover. How do you get around this? There's really no way to get around this because if you're and who would even care about getting around it because it's so inexpensive. It's like 300 pesos, couple pennies on the dollar. So you got to really understand. You can make a big deal. Oh, he didn't pay, but you got to pay. But honestly, it's so minute, it's pointless, right? So I'm just gonna start this day. I'm gonna start this conversation. We're gonna get straight to it. We're gonna go to the club scene. I may recap what we did during the day, but I'm gonna go straight to the club scene. So nighttime comes, right? It's me and the homie Blazing Bars. I make sure you check out his YouTube channel and his Instagram, Blazing Bars. And we decided, yo, we're gonna go to the club again tonight. But I need to go to 2 new clubs and one club that I went to before that I really liked. So we decided we're gonna go to King's Club, which is one club in Havana, Cuba. Another club we went to was Illusions. And then last, I wanted to finish the night in the club that I feel as though is my favorite club thus far. Not by far, because Club 2.45 is close, but my favorite club in Havana, Cuba is LM, which is LM, which is initials of LM. And it's an Afro-Cubano club, but it's everybody in it, and it is amazing. The setup is dope, the energy is dope. I mean, it's very, very dope. So I wanted to end the night in LM. And I'm gonna explain some things, all right? So prior to going to the club, real quick, we actually were just walking around Havana at late night, and we went to get some food at this place called Blicky. It was called, mind you, the place is called Blicky's. It's like, you wouldn't even believe this is in Havana, Cuba, because Blicky's food is so delicious. It's a higher price. It's very, very pristine. Everything about this is pristine, like high class. So we got in there, right? And we see this older European gentleman with 2 women, right? And the 2 women were looking, they were young. I think the women had to be like maybe 19, 20, and he was probably like 45. But we seen him, like, oh, that's cool, that's some boss stuff. But we went and ate, we seen him, right? I'm gonna tell you why that matters later on, right? And he had some cool Nike kicks. I had on my Bel Airs from China, and that was that. So we decided, after we ate at Blicky's, which I would definitely recommend this restaurant if you are in Havana, Cuba. It's called Blicky's. After we ate at Blicky's, we went back and got dressed, and we went to where do you go from? We went to King's Club first. Now in King's Club, it was like there was a line there, right? And mind you, because the clubs don't close until 6 o'clock, it's not really the best idea to go to a club before like 1 o'clock, before 12:30. I say it's not the best idea. So we decided to get there about 1, and of course we were running late, so we ended up getting there around 1:30. When we got there about 1:30, it was at capacity. Now, yes, if we'd waited, it's a possibility we would have got into King's Club and not had to pay for somebody who was like a hustler to get us through. But I was in a rush. I wanted to get to all the places, and I said, yo, time is more important than the money right now. So what we need to do is we get in a rush. So the guy said, oh, I can get you in, this and this. We paid the money. We did some kind of hustle scheme with the security guards. We got inside. Cool. It was super packed. It's super packed. It was packed to the point where it was a fun time. There was a lot of women there, but King's Corner was just so packed that I felt like, all right, I don't want to be here for too long because I actually want to have space to move around, talk to women, and do stuff like that. And in here, it was like water, nothing but, something like that, what they call it, right? All right, so we left King's Corner after like 30 minutes. Mind you, we paid like $20 together. It wasn't $20. It was we paid $20 to get inside the same way we skipped the line before. We paid $20 to get inside faster. So we left King's Corner 30 to 40 minutes after that. We went to Illusions. Now here's my opinion. This is my perspective of Illusions. This is what I see and what my friend Blaze and Bar seen. When they noticed that we were coming in there, they sent some guy ran back inside to go get one of the women. The woman came out, and when she came out, she came directly to us. Now there were other people out there, but she came directly to us and came inside. Now to my idea, this is a sign that say, yo, get the gringos. It's a gringo charge. Gringo capacity is coming in. I said, cool. So we went inside, and of course they gave us $300 gringo charge for entrance. I don't see nobody else paying, but it was what it was. It was only 300, not dollars. Sorry, 300 pesos, 300 Cuban pesos. It's nothing. It's water under the bridge, but it did happen. So we get inside and we start talking. They say, okay, you want a table? All right, sure. How much a table? Now remind you, in Veradera, we paid $4,000 for a bottle that had with the table, right? Veradera is more expensive than Havana, right? Cool. This club wasn't packed at all. The club was all tables and it was very close. So I'm like, all right, she probably should like 10K because it's a Friday night. I understand Friday nights are big. She ended up saying like 28K. 28K is relatively like $150. Again, it's still nothing. For us, it's still nothing. We do have to budget though, because remember, in Cuba, there's no access to ATMs for United States citizens. You can't use your credit card. So whatever you bring is all that you got. And I think I brought like $1,100 or $1,200. And the way that I was moving, the way that I moved with paying for stuff, doing all that stuff, that money goes fast. So we're looking around, I'm like, all right, first of all, we know you're giving us a gringo charge. I know you're giving us a gringo charge because I've been to the other clubs. Secondly, this, even if I wanted to pay, it's not worth it because there's not enough people here. Maybe Illusions is good on another day, but Friday night it wasn't nobody in there. It was like maybe 2 tables of women. Definitely wasn't worth 28,000 pesos. So we walked in, paid our thing, talked to them, got heard the gringo charge they were trying to do, and we walked out of Illusions. Like, nah, I'm good. We went straight from Illusions to the club that, again, I tell you, LM is my favorite club in Havana, Cuba. And every time I come to Havana, Cuba, 2 places I will go is LM, 3 places actually. LM, Fabrica de Arte, and 2.45. It's in Spanish, it's 2.45, but it's the name on the sign is 2.45. Those are the 3 places I'm going every time I come to Havana, Cuba. And I do plan to come to Havana, Cuba more. Maybe I'll tell you in the future why. All right, so boom. So finally, y'all, we get to LM. We get to LM Club, right? We like, oh, we about to go inside. We already know the price is like $1,700 during the week, but of course on the weekend it's more. I believe it was like 2,300 Cuban pesos to get inside LM on a Friday. And if you get there around like, what time we got there? We get there around 1 o'clock. It's like 2,300 Colombian pesos. If you get there after 2 o'clock, it's going to be like 3,000 Cuban pesos. So again, you want to try to get there between like 1 and even 12:30 and maybe 1, or 12:30 and 1:30. So we get inside the club, right? Now, mind you, before we get inside the club, you know what I see? I look around, I see streetwalkers, I see street meat, and I see this one particular street meat who looks good. Now, her face felt like she'd been through a lot. But she was very young. She looked very young. To come to find out she's 22. To come to find out she's 22, she has a kid. She looks like she's been through a lot in the face, but her body, she goes to the gym, is on point. And she's thick. She's thick thighs, muscular, but she's a streetwalker. You can see she's in a dress and she's in the high heels. Crazy. She's actually in the thumbnail, but I'm not going to show her face because I don't do that. There's no purpose because $50. When we get to it, as you see the title, $50 to me isn't a thing. It's nothing. Did her taking it, her stealing it from me after what happened is, I don't know. It's weird, but I understood it. Opportunity breeds opportunity. But with all that, the trouble that she can get into, it's not worth me showing her face. So that's why you guys don't see her face. You see me put a mark over her face. But I'll try to show you her body to show you how bad she was. How bad she is. My fault. How bad she is. So we go inside LM, right? We having fun. Now remember that guy that we saw at Blicky's? Remember I told you we seen a European guy with the 2 young chicks who look good? We seen him inside, right? And when we bumped into each other, he looked at my sneakers, I looked at his sneakers. You know, we both had nice Nikes on, and that's one big thing in Havana that tells you apart from everybody else is your sneakers. So, you know, because they have internet now. Internet is accessible. I am not on a tourist internet card anymore. I had one of the Cuban people go register a card and then put it in my phone. So I'm on the Cuban. This is gonna be my new Cuban line and all that stuff. So we sat there, we talked around. Matter of fact, I don't think he was European because he was speaking Spanish. He might have been from Spain. That's what he was, European. So he might have been from Spain. So we're talking. He's like, the girls, and now he's intertwining me and Blades and Bars with the girls. Mind you, so I got videos of us having fun, popping bottles. He's offering drinks, all that stuff. Cool. So we're sitting at LM. Let's say the night goes past. We have fun. I record a lot of video, and then the night comes to an end. Now we're gonna get into the story. As the night comes to an end, the ladies start to wean out. 2 o'clock, or 3 o'clock, the ladies start to wean out. They start to pair up with people. I still haven't chosen anybody yet. 4 o'clock, there's less ladies come, some new ladies come, but there's less ladies overall. Still haven't chosen anybody yet. I have this one woman that's looking at me, and she has a friend, but I'm like, I don't really want this one because I don't know. Didn't want it, and it was another girl I wanted to get at, but she wasn't a person. She wasn't willing to allow me to pay for her time. She wasn't. I literally asked her, and she wasn't willing to. But she gave me her phone number. I was supposed to call her today, but because of my funds being low, I didn't want to call her because I didn't want to call her and not have any plans. So when I come back, I'll hit up and see if that's still a possibility. So it's 5 o'clock. It's 5:30. The club is getting ready to shut down, and we have nothing. Myself have nothing. Blaze Bar, she's not doing anything because he's a faithful man. With me, I have nothing. I'm like, wait a minute. This ain't going good. So we go outside, right? Club's over, I have nothing. Okay, I'll just take the loss, I'm going home. As I'm outside, of course, a guy comes up to me. Hey, buddy, you need a taxi? You need a taxi? I'm like, yeah, how much for to go back to the embassy? Now, mind you, whenever I give a taxi the address of where my Airbnb is, I always tell them the United States Embassy because, as you can see right here, if you don't get too messed up, this is the United States Embassy in Havana, right here. So every time I go anywhere, if I need to take a taxi cab back and I need to give them directions, all of them know where the United States Embassy is. So that's the easiest thing to do. And that's why every time I come to Havana, I'll be staying here. Because I tell them United States Embassy. So he gives me the price. The price isn't that bad. I'm like, cool. But don't need a lot more headaches. Where the headaches? He's like, oh, you want girls? I have girls too. I said, oh, really? All right, let's see what you got. He pulls a couple street meet women out there, right? And I see the woman that I saw when I first entered the club. And I'm like, you know what? I want her. At first, again, I felt as though that's not what my desire is. I like a thicker woman. So I went with the original woman that I seen standing out there. Now, here's where he messed up. The guy was supposed to, she's 21, she just had a kid, so she's just coming into this life as far as maybe a year or two ago. Since she has to provide for her kid by herself, since the kid has no father. So she doesn't know the game. So whereas, yes, a lot of women are saying 100 for the whole night, my fault. A lot of pros, sorry, not women, a lot of pros are saying 100 for the whole night in Cuba, Havana. She didn't know the game. So she said 80. When she said 80, I said, gotcha, bitch. Gotcha. She said 80. So I said, oh, well, if you would have said 100, I would have said 70. But you said 80. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to push 40. But then she was like, oh, I said 40. No, I said 50. And she said, but I got to pay for the taxi. She said she has to pay. I said, okay, no, I'll give you 50 and I'll pay for the taxi. She said, okay. Mind you, the guy who was supposed to negotiate for her because she was new, she's wet behind the ears, didn't hear her say 50. When I heard her say 50, she agreed with 50, and that was that. During the course of the ride, he thought that she said 100. And she clearly corrected him and said, no, I told him 50 for the whole night. Mind you, at this time it's 6 o'clock. Whole night, at this time it's 6 o'clock, 6:15. The whole night, I ended the whole night at 9 a.m. because I knew I had something to do 9 a.m. I mean at 10 a.m. But I forgot that I asked for the ladies who we were talking. This was a simple conversation. She's like, oh yeah, I said, we all have problems that's going wrong. I told her how my son, he hurt his hand and stuff like that. And then she said, well, she has a daughter, she's raising herself. And then she told me a story about how she has a cervical cancer. I'm guessing from doing her work. She has cervical cancer and all that stuff. And when I told her about my story, she shed a tear, like real tears. And I'm like, all right, let's change the subject because it's messing up. But I had time. Remember, she's here all night for only 50 euros. It's going to be USD also, but I had euros. So finally around 7 o'clock, I said, let's have some fun. We start having some fun. She started topping me off, having fun. Boom. I start banging out. By like 7:45, it was over. I fell asleep. I woke up, fell asleep. You fall asleep around pros. You know what's going to happen. I woke up, nothing was missing. My phone wasn't missing. Neither one of my phones was missing. None of my money was missing. My camera wasn't missing. None of my clothes was missing. And she was still asleep next to me. Mind you, I fell asleep before her. She was still sleeping next to me. I left the room. I came back. Nothing is missing. I checked multiple times. Nothing is missing. Now I'm like, all right, it's time for her to go. She starts getting dressed. She calls the taxi cab. The taxi cab does not come on time. The people who were coming to bring money do not come on time. But when the people arrive to exchange the money, the taxi cab arrives at the same time. So now I'm up in a frenzy, like, okay, I don't want them to know that I got this one in my room, even though it wouldn't have been a big deal. It probably wouldn't have been a big deal. But I just did, after coming from Veradero, in that situation, if you haven't watched the last live, that situation I had in Veradero, I'm like, I don't want to take no chances. I had a great night. I literally fell asleep before her, woke up, she was still sleeping, all my stuff was there. Let me leave her in that room and do what I gotta do. Now I was running short on cash, but I had 60 euros. I had 60 euros. I had 60 euros. And I said, okay, I'm gonna take these 60 euros after my friend exchanges money. I'm gonna exchange money too. 60 euros got me 9,500 Cuban pesos. So mind you, this whole time she's getting dressed. She almost came out the room, but she didn't. And luckily she didn't. So I got finished the transaction and I was soup. I'm like, yo, I did everything right. Oh, we did everything right. As I'm talking to them, they're getting ready to leave and I'm going back. I'm like, yo, we got something to do. So I'm ready to like a drop top party there. And as soon as I run inside, I'm like, oh, they going. And I put the money on the dresser. I put the money on the dresser that I just got. Mind you, nothing was missing. My phone, all my phone is on the dresser. Both of my phones are on the dresser. My gold watch is on the dresser. My other watch is on the dresser. My earrings are on the dresser. This dresser is full of all this stuff. Now I do have money that's in the suitcase because that's what I normally do. But I put the money on the counter because I was in a rush to make sure they was going out the house before I had her come out. So I put the money on the counter. And then I said, we started to walk out, and I told her, stay right there. Hold on, I'm going to make sure they're going. So I ran to the front of the room. I looked where I'm at right now. I didn't see them anywhere. I'm like, cool. I ran back. And then I told her, hurry up, let's go. I opened the door and told her, hurry up, let's go. She was right by the door. I never checked the money on the counter. I never checked if anything was missing. My phone was on the counter. Because in my head, I'm just trying to get her out so she doesn't get seen when she's leaving. I take full accountability for putting that temptation to someone who explained to me how much she's going through right now. Opportunity breeds issues. That's not a Cuban problem. That's not a Colombian problem. It's not a Brazilian problem. It's not a third world country problem. That's not a first world country problem. Opportunity breeds issues. I take full accountability for leaving the money on the counter and rushing to try to get her out, rather than putting the money in my pocket, rather than just bring her out with me. I was just in the moment doing so much stuff that I got caught in the moment, and she took the opportunity to swipe the whole 9,500 Cuban pesos off the counter, rushed it in her bag, and then I rushed her out without pausing. Now this is a learning lesson, but in the end, I was more happy that she didn't take my phones, because she was telling me how she needed a phone and the guy that she works for wouldn't get her a phone. And I had 2 phones there. She asked me, can she buy one of my phones from me? And I said, I need both of my phones for business. I told her I needed it for business. She left both of the phones. I had my gold earrings, 2 sets of gold earrings with real diamond S something quality. She took neither one of those. I had watches. She didn't know it was real gold or not. The other watches had diamonds on it. She didn't know. She didn't take the watches. Am I applauding her for not taking that? No. But what I'm saying is that I'm more appreciative that none of that stuff was going. And more importantly, the watches could have left. She could have took the watches. She didn't take my camera. My camera was across on the other dresser. She didn't take my camera. All this footage would have been gone. That would have made me more mad than anything else. The money, the $50, I take full accountability for that being gone. But I couldn't be nothing but happy that she didn't take any other stuff that could have stopped me from producing this amazing Black Man's Guide to Havana, Cuba footnotes that you guys are going to see. That the world is going to see. And I was so happy. Today, and I'll recap this a little bit tomorrow in a recap. I'll answer any questions you guys got. But I was so happy that today, and I'll foreshadow this, I'll say it again tomorrow. Today we went to Home Muhammad. I had a bunch of stuff to give away. I gave away everything I brought. I went to another location in Central Havana. I gave away everything I brought. As far as all the gifts I brought, I met a guy who was a revolutionary Black man from Havana. And he told me a story. Didn't ask for no money. I tried to pay him some money to help me out because he got a cab for me for cheap to get back. He didn't want to take no money. He said, all I want is a drink with you. I want to drink with you and your friend. And we sit down, we have a drink. That's more important. But if you want to help, clothes are hard to come by. If you have any dirty boxers, you have any dirty shirts, you have anything like sneakers or flip-flops that you can give away and that can help me and people in the community, that's more important because the money comes and goes. But those clothes they wear for 2 years, they wear for 5 years, they wear for 6 years, they wear for 9 years. They'll fix it up if something's broke. So I came back and I gave them everything except for the stuff. I gave them all the white t-shirts. I gave them all the underwear. I gave them all the mini shirts. I gave them socks. I didn't give them my color socks and stuff. I didn't give them my shorts. But I gave toothpaste. I gave medicine. I gave a lot of stuff away. I gave them over $100 for stuff prior to even meeting this guy. And then whatever else it was probably another $100 if not two. And that part made me so happy. It made I haven't been as happy for an act of, I guess, kindness or whatever I've ever been. And it wasn't on video or anything like that, but it happened. I mean, well, the giveaways for the kids and stuff was on video, but the situation with him wasn't on video. And then my homie, Blazing Bars, respect him, shout out to Blazing Bars. Blazing Bars took off his Nikes, Air Max, or Nike Air, all whites, low top, that he had on his feet. The guy had on some shoes that was so beat up, his toes coming out of it. And he gave him his shoes. The guy was crying. The guy was hugging and trying to, show him. He was very affectionate. He was affectionate because no one has ever did that for him. So that right there made that $50 laughable. Again, it's the reason why, even though I put the woman's picture up on the thumbnail, there's no face, there's no name, and I got the picture from her Facebook, so I could easily put a Facebook name up there. I could have put a picture up there and a picture of a kid. But that $50 mean nothing for me, because the money I gave away, the clothes, the opportunity I had to learn from this guy, bro, that's just gonna carry me to the end of life, y'all. So again, accountability is important, y'all. Accountability is important. I'm accountable, and I take full accountability for me rushing and trying to finagle making sure they're going and leaving the money on the counter, knowing that she just told me that she has cancer and her kid is hers all she got, and she's been doing this, knowing all that, to leave food right by the dog's mouth and to walk away, and I expect that dog to eat it. I can't say that's Cuba. I can't say that's third world country. I can't say that's women. I can't say that's nothing but just me being not wise to the accountability. So let me get to your comments, and then we're gonna end this because it's about 32 minutes, and I do want to get some food. Tonight I give you guys a premonition. What the plan is? The plan is to go back to LM, but LM we're gonna buy out a VIP section. It's just me and my homie Blaze and Bars. But I really like LM so much that, you know, Blaze he doesn't want to spend. You know, I'm broke. I have all my money is in Jersey. I mean, in the banks in the States. I have about maybe like 2,000 pesos on me. With Blaze and Bars, he didn't get a chance to spend all of his pesos, so he's gonna pay for the bottle, and we're gonna go down there, and we're going to have an amazing time. We're gonna have an amazing time. But before that, in the square by Hotel National, they have a party almost every Saturday, and especially the first week of May, they have a party where it's very big, and we're gonna go down there from about like 8:30 to about 10:30. So we're going from 8:30 to about 10:30, and I'm going to get some footage out there, and then I'll come back, I'll drop my camera off, and then we'll go to LM, where we're going to spend the night until like 4 o'clock. And if she's out there, I'm not even going to sweat it, because, again, the stuff I gave away and what I got to experience today, I can't even be mad at her. I take full accountability, so I wouldn't even be mad at her. I won't approach her, I won't adjust. It is what it is, $50. It's a drop in the bucket for me. So that's real. I don't know what else to say, y'all. Let me get to your comments. Live chat. Alright, y'all. Oh man. Let me see. Wow, all right, you had a lot of comments. I gotta, all right, okay, here you go. Let me get right here. All right, so Mr. T got his popcorn. I see you, man. Fly Cuba, your favorite spot in some Americas? Cuba's on my top list. I'm gonna say Cuba might be top 3 for me. Cuba might be top 3. Colombia's still gonna be number 1. Cuba might be 2 or 3. Yeah, but I like Costa Rica too. So Cuba might be 2 or 3. Cuba might be 2 or 3. I have to say like that. Did you find me a baby mommy yet? Yes, I did. No. I don't know. I found a prospective woman in Santa Marta, Cuba. In Santa Marta, Cuba, I found a prospective one because she didn't ask me for any money, and she risked. If you see the video, she risked getting put in jail for years. For 4 or 5 years, she risked putting in jail in years just to be intimate with me by bringing me into her house, knowing that all it would take is one person that's on her block to say, yo, this Cuban woman had a United States tourist in her house for a longevity of time, and she could go to jail for 4 to 5 years. Cuba was different. So maybe, I don't know. What's going on, Capricorn Way? What it do? Mr. T, damn, taxing hike crazy in Cuba. Yo, it is. But when I look at it from this perspective. I try to look at it from this perspective. What's relative for me to spend that'll be relative for them? It'll be relative for me to spend $150 for a bottle if they charge them $4,000, which is what? $20 for a bottle. Because it's harder for them to get $20. It's 10 times harder for a Cuban person to get $20 than it is for me to get $150. That's a drop in the bucket. So like I said, it's relative. Tone, what's going on, man? He said link with my man Yachty, your Cuban plug. He's literally The plug. I seen Barber World TV with him. I've seen King James mention him. I don't know the guy personally. I know he's an Afro-Cuban brother. Maybe the next time I'll meet him or something. But I have connections in Cuba. I have strong connections in Cuba. I've been using since the first time. I've been utilizing rather since the first time I was here. So I keep my connections I have. I don't just switch to somebody because they're black. That's not how I move. I always hope that I need a black person to show me around first. But if that's not what happened, I don't switch with somebody who's been showing me nothing but favor. My man, my homie David, he been showing me nothing but love. He hooked me up with a lady here who was able to control it control how things move around when he's in Spain or in another country. So I stick with that. But I definitely don't mind meeting a brother when I return back. When I have some time that way. T. Williams, what's going on, man? Yeah, it's definitely high, bro. It's definitely high. Casino says, fly always keep it real. I mean, it gets to a point where everyone's different. I mean, I don't want to say too much of the infinite for nobody. Make sure you get the likes up. I appreciate it, man. T. Williams, what's up, man? Got him. Yup, that's how I felt. Got him at that point. And it's like I was so in tune with so much stuff. Making sure the Airbnb host was going, making sure she was still hiding in the room, making sure I was getting the change for the money, making sure I had a plan at 10 o'clock to go on a tour around. It was so much stuff going on. I take full accountability. Never mistreat me. I wouldn't say that. Again, I don't blame her. I do not blame her. I take full accountability. And the reason why I take full accountability is because she's told me the story of what she's going through. And I know, and after being in Cuba for these 5 days, I can tell the difference of what it was in 2018 and what the struggle is now, especially with the fuel issues, the gas issues. The gas issues right now are the biggest issues. Yes, the political stuff is what it is, but yes, not being able to communicate with American tourists is a huge issue. Not being able to, if you're not, but the gas issue right now, so I don't blame her at all. Anyone in that predicament, even myself, not myself, because I was standing for different, would have took that they would have took that risk. I don't blame her at all. Pro Tools, GC, that was something. T Mill says that's what it's really worth. We going to these countries and fleeing prices. It's not really necessarily something you can control. Because here's the thing, if I know for a fact that I'm going to get gringoed when I come in this club, and they're telling me I have to pay 300 Cuban pesos to get in here. They're telling me, even though I've seen 6 people walking here, and they're telling me I have to pay it. I can sit there and argue and say I'm not paying it, and they can also say they're not letting me in. And now I have to think of the long term of issues of it. Am I arguing and refusing to pay $2 to get in the spot because they didn't charge the person who lives here $2? I mean, inflation or not, it's just a realistic, logical thing. Like, they don't have $2 to pay. I have way more than $2 to pay. So if they're gonna force me to pay it, if I really want to go in there, I'm gonna pay it. It is what it is. I always negotiate price when it comes to pros, because that's just how I am. But as far as stuff like that, let me see. GC said, damn, $365. T. Williams, what's $365? Why would it go out there is dangerous? Rubbed up. I'm not sure if you've ever been to Cuba. It's not dangerous. Let me tell you how not dangerous it is. When we were in Veradero and we went to Continental Cabaret, I didn't have any jewelry on but a watch. My homie Blades and Bars didn't have any jewelry on. The Cuban people there had a bunch of jewelry on. A bunch of jewelry on. Gold, chains, wristwatches. Internet has hit Cuba hard. I'm telling you. So when people say, oh, it's dangerous out here, you can't wear your chain, you can't wear your watch, bro, every single taxi cab driver got a dope watch. Every single person that works at the tourist spot got a dope chain. The people in Veradero that was in Continental Cabaret, earrings, name brand shirts. Again, whether it's fake or not, who knows? But again, That's not what my experience. Capricorn way, best practices. Check the chica's purse before. That is a good practice. Before, make sure they shower before. Oh yes, yes. Well, no. Yes. Well, to get in certain places, make sure they shower before they lay down, but not just because they get scoped and drugged. But think about this: streetwalkers don't have time to go home and shower. They don't have time. They most likely don't have time to shower when they get their business done, right? So I seen her when I first went into the club, and when I came out the club 4 to 5 hours later, she was still there. So of course, before she even got in the bed, before she even got in, I made her take a shower. And she was glad because it was hot water. I made her take a shower and made sure that I gave her the soap and clean herself. This is this. It's just, it doesn't, if she got something that doesn't improve, I'm gonna protect myself with a condom. But if she got something that doesn't do anything like that, but it gives me the knowledge in my head that she's washed. And whatever we get into, she's washed. Yeah, that's it. Ben Stephen says, damn, I'm football. Yeah, I definitely got quit lacking. Definitely. Like I said, I want to say this is the first time, but I might be wrong. But this is the first time I noticed it when it happened. As it in progress. This is the first time I ever, and mind you guys know I've been a lot of places. I've been traveling since I was 18. I've been traveling internationally since 24. I'm 38 now. I've been in a lot of situations, even in Newark. But man, this is the first time I actually like, oh shit, I really got caught lacking. But I take 100% accountability, especially since the conversation that we had was strictly her telling me her story. It wasn't me. It wasn't her asking for money because she needed help. It wasn't her asking. She already was getting the $50. I gave her $50 before we even did anything. So it wasn't about her asking for more money or anything like that. It was just us having conversations about our problems that we're both going through to connect in a more different way, because that's the kind of vibe I wanted that night. But it is what it is. I take full accountability. Whenever I travel, I always leave a t-shirt behind. That's a smart idea. Those gestures are life-changing. Yeah, definitely. It is. Outlaw Raider. Wow, I want to go so badly. I'm single. I need to put, honestly, I say everybody should, man. But here's the thing. Honestly, if you've never been to Cuba, I don't think I would suggest going by yourself. Not because it's not safe, because Cuba is the safest place I've ever been. Cuba also is the least expensive place I've ever been. But I am a great budgeter. I own two houses in New Jersey. I own a condo on the water in Miami Beach. I started out from poverty in a crack epidemic in North New Jersey. My mother didn't have money. She was in a mental institution, in and out. My father wasn't existing. I say this to say this. I say that rather to say this. I say that to say this. I'm great with budgeting. I'm amazing. I graduated with a degree in accounting. From poverty, I managed to become a millionaire. From poverty, living from North New Jersey. I am great with budgeting. And I'm with people. First time I was in Cuba, I was with three other people. I'm with one person now. I'm telling you now, you're going to screw up your budget if you come to Cuba. And if you're by yourself and you have no money, it's going to be an issue. So I would definitely say, don't come to Cuba by yourself. Come with a friend, come with another person, because it's going to be very important how you budget your money. And that's what I say about that. He said, so he said, well, yeah, that was you for Outlaw. Pimp Skywalker, how do you know she really had cancer? Because the conversation that we were having wasn't about her asking for money. The conversation that we were having wasn't about her looking for help or me to give her anything. She got the money, she was happy with it. That was it. We was glad. The tears in her eyes, yeah, you can fake tears sometimes, but to cry multiple times over and over about exchanging stories and problems that you're having, I felt it was real. She didn't say I have cancer, I need money, I want money. She just said, this is why I do what I have to do, and this is why I really need the money. And she showed me a picture of her kid. She showed me a bunch of pictures of her kid. And she said, "It's me and her kid. It's me and her. It's me and her." So again, there's no sob story, just the reactions. Like, you understand when you have a conversation with somebody and they're not asking for nothing, they're just telling you their story. You can understand when certain stuff is real. I feel as though, at least I can. Let me see. Outlaw says, "I can't wait to see the videos. I get to live some of your life experiences, man. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, y'all. Hopefully we come to the end of this because I gotta get some food, y'all. I'm hungry. Or a little bit. How much is an Airbnb in USD? This Airbnb is a 4-bedroom Airbnb, and it is $160 a night plus cost. So basically, for 4 nights, 5 days, it's like $718. So it's worth it because when you divide 718 by 4, you're talking like $200 a pop. No, I'm talking about less than $200 a pop. So again, it's worth it. But on average, Airbnbs range from $40 to about $80 for 1 bedroom or 2 bedroom. If it's not as luxurious as this place. That's what's up, brother. Give back. Definitely. Ty, mate, what's going on? Peace, bro. All right, we made it to the end of this thing, y'all. I hope you guys learned something from this, my experience. What I say that this won't ever happen again, it probably will. But I just gotta be more. I mean, it might happen again, but I just want to give you guys a thing real quick, y'all. But last thing, Pimp Skywalker said, "I heard it's safe, but I can't wait to see you in Thailand." Oh, nice. Would you buy a property there? No, you cannot. As a United States citizen, buy a property here because it has to go in the Cuban person's name. Now, you can work something out where there's a contract between you and them where they can own the property and you own the rights of the property, control of the property, but that's not often. But I gotta leave because this data, I'll tell you more later. It's your boy FRE, $H Fresh at the Flyboy Way. That's THEFLYBOYWAY. Don't ask why, just check out the channel, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.